The college football experience, Umass Minutemen 2025 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com with the promo code TCESGPN. And remember, as always, folks, to let it ride.
This is Coach June Jones, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the college football experience, Minutemen style. Yes, Umass Minutemen 2025 season preview episode. It is a new day and age here in Amherst, Massachusetts. Excited to talk all about it as we continue to break down all 136 teams in all the land. Subscribe, tell a friend, jump in the chat. If you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, that's fair. My name is Colby Swig and Database Dan, aka Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
I love Minutemen football. All right, I remember them winning the FCS National Championship in '98. All right, Marcel Ship. They had Rini Ingolia, dog. All right. I think he's calling games for ESPN now, doing a hell of a good job. Fucking Greg Landry back in the day. Let's go. I am joined by my co-host, who I know is a big UMass basketball fan. We host the college basketball experience. Check us out when the season goes live. We're live every single night of the season, of course. Give it up for former staffer at Austin Peay with the Governors, at South Carolina with the Gamecocks, and at West Virginia with the Mountaineers, Ryan McIntyre, a.k.a. Ryan Moneyline McIntyre.
What's up, man? Hey, so within 48 hours, UMass to the MAC official. It's fitting that we are kicking this off. Let's go. Let's go, Minute.
Yeah, and look, we did the Liberty preview earlier. Go check that out. And I said they shouldn't be an independent. They should be an independent. Like, they should stay independent. They should not join the CUSA. This is the opposite to me. I think UMass should go to, they're trying to get an FBS identity. In the FCS, yes, they had great success at one point. But they're trying to get that FBS identity. And I think it makes a lot of sense to join a conference, to be able to get some wins and build culture, winning culture there. I think it was a little unfair to Don Brown with the way the independent schedule lined up there. But what's my guy's name? Joe, how do I say this again?
Harasymiak?
Yeah, Harasymiak, I think it is. I remember him at Maine. He did a hell of a good job with the Black Bears at Maine when he won the CAA in 2018. But Harasymiak, I think you came in at the right time. And I say that for several reasons. But let's just start with, like, UMass, their independent schedules were a bit brutal. Now, they had a lot of MAC teams in there, but only the good MAC teams. Like, take last year. Last year they played Missouri, Mississippi State, Georgia, Liberty, UConn, who was an 8-win team, Northern Illinois, who knocked off Notre Dame, right? Miami, Ohio, who played for the MAC championship. Buffalo, who was right knocking on the door of the MAC championship. Toledo coming off a MAC championship. And even their FCS, one of their FCSs, Central Connecticut State, was an FCS playoff team a year ago. So relax. All right. Like, look, you go to 23, you say, okay, let me look at the 23 schedule. It doesn't get much easier. They had at Auburn, at Penn State, at Liberty, UConn back on that thing. Army, when they were, Munkins had them rolling lately. Arkansas State, who bowl team in the Sun Belt there. Jerry Kill in New Mexico State when they had Diego Pavia. So the schedules have been much more brutal than a traditional MAC schedule, in my opinion. So I think they could really benefit from this transition into the MAC. It might not be this year, but I think they could be. And it's funny, Mac. I was listening to Rini Ingolia's podcast. Shout out to him. And I should quote the podcast if I can pull it up really quick. No disrespect.
While you're pulling it up, they were basically an honorary member of the SEC the last 2 years with how many SEC goddamn games they played. I mean,
no, you're right. Geez. You're right. I believe so. Minuteman on Command podcast. I was listening to that, the flagship pod, I think they call it. And here's one thing that I think might blow your mind. According to that podcast, they will be number 2 in revenue put into the sport of football in the MAC. Only Toledo would be higher than them. That tells me everything I need to know about what I think they can build in the MAC. They could be a consistent bowl team. If you're telling me they're throwing the most amount of money in that conference, I like the move. What do you think of the move?
Yeah, I hate it for basketball just because they're leaving the A-10, but for football, it makes complete sense, other than the geographical aspect. But I mean, that's college athletics in this day and age. But like
at least they have Buffalo. They at least they have Buffalo there.
They do have Buffalo. Yeah, I guess they do have Buffalo. But yeah, I mean, from an identity standpoint, I mean, they played Toledo tough last year. They outgained them. Miami of Ohio, it was an overtime game. They should have won that game. So they're going to be competitive in the MAC. And finally, they're not going to be playing 6, 7, 8 high major bye games. And they can rack up some wins and hopefully get some continuity in this program.
Yeah, and winning results in racking up women. Yeah, right? That's just an age-old tale, right? What does Deion say? If you play good, they pay good.
Yeah.
And then if they pay good, something else. I don't remember. But yeah. So let's talk about the hire. Joe Harasymiak. All right. I am a fan of his coaching, man. I think, he did a great job at Minnesota and Rutgers as a DC, but I was really impressed with what he did at Maine with the Black Bears. He's familiar with the Northeast. And even though I thought Don Brown should have got a third year, if you got your guy, you got to jump on it. He's 20-15, but he won the CAA, and the CAA in 2018 had JMU, had Villanova, had Delaware, Richmond. It was a really good football conference in the FCS. So shout out to him there. They won an FBS game against Western Kentucky as well on the road. What do you make of the hire? I think it's going to look great. Now, this is why I feel sorry for Don Brown, though, because I feel like had you given Don Brown a MAC schedule, he probably would have been a bowl, like on the verge of a bowl, if not a bowl, and then you'd probably be happy with him. So I think he's walking into the perfect scenario. He's going to look so great compared to Don Brown when he actually ends up winning, double or triple the amount of games that Don Brown did. But what do you make of the hire?
Oh, I'm big fan of it. And I like that he's got head coaching experience, from the region, being a Jersey guy, but also, I mean, he worked under Schiano and Fleck, 2 winning coaches at tough jobs. I mean, at Rutgers, Schiano's about the only guy that's won, and he was there the last 3 years. And they're not an offensive juggernaut at Rutgers, so they relied on their defensive side of the football. And then Minnesota's a hard job as well, and Fleck has maximized things there over the last 5-6 years. So 2 good experiences after he was a winner at Maine. I'm a fan of the hire. I think UMass got it right.
Yeah, and I think they got it right by jumping to the MAC too. Now,
Yeah.
I mean, all you have, I don't know if they want to stay in the MAC, and I don't. They've only been in it for 2 days, so I don't want to get ahead of it. But
48 hours.
you build it up your resume, and then you can pursue other options. But I like the hire too. Now he does inherit an offense that has just three returning starters there. Did I mess up the slide? Because I wanted to hit the numbers. But yeah, just 3 returning starters. 2 and that's debatable. Some say 2. T.Y. Harding got some starts. Jacquon Gibson, the other wideout, left tackle Ryan Macesso also. I am quickly trying to but what I mean, new OC, so I guess you kind of expect this when a new coach comes in. But Mac, do you think the offense, and I don't have the I'm quickly trying to pull up the numbers from what their numbers were. But do you think the offense will be in decent shape? So last season it was 104th in total offense, 110th in scoring offense, 114th in passing offense, and 65th in rushing offense.
Well, and looking so, offensive coordinator Harasymiak is obviously a defensive guy. So Bajakeen, he's going to have the keys here. He was at Utah last year. And I think that's why we're going to get to their portal class, bringing over quarterback from Utah, Mr. Brandon Rose, but also he was with Fitzgerald at Northwestern as well. So I do think that the offense will take a step back, but a lot of it because of all the production at the high major level that they're bringing in.
Yeah, and I'm kind of intrigued by these guys they brought in. Like, just to let the people know, we already recorded a MAC preview on in Los Angeles, and we're going through all of the teams on one episode. But I did not peek at the transfer portal. I was very impressed with what you see here. Brandon Rose for Utah comes in. Grant Jordan from Yale has started 9 games there. All right. A little concerned that if they were to get, depth could be an issue with any first year coach that uses the portal this heavy. You saw it with Coach Prime in year 1 at Colorado. But Rocko Griffin from UTSA is a nice get. I remember him at UTSA. That's a nice get. Jawad Price is a nice get from North Texas, previously Syracuse, right? Brandon Hood is a nice get from Colorado, right? Like I'm like, okay. I'm buying in. Donnie Gray, a wide receiver from Northwestern, which I imagine had ties with the OC there. McConaughey, the wide receiver from Pitt, comes in. Tyree Kelly, another wide receiver from South Florida, hitting the Ivy Leagues. Alex Garazzi from fucking Dartmouth. A bunch of Rutgers transfers, which the obviously the pipeline with the head coach coming over from there. UT Martin transfer tight end Max Downing, Reese Adkins a UCF transfer. Then on the O line, grabbing guys from fucking Harvard, Dartmouth, West Virginia, Duke, some special teams guys from Cal and Northern Arizona. But I was kind of like, they got some guys with some pep, like some explosiveness there. I got to give them credit. I think they actually did a really good job in the portal, assuming they can block. I don't know enough about these offensive linemen, but I can tell you this: at the skill position level, I thought they did a pretty good job bringing in some talent. So I'm kind of on board with the offense taking a big step forward. You don't have that crazy schedule from a year ago when you're playing 4 SEC teams in Liberty, right? And the top of the MAC. And so just by default, I think you're playing lesser competition. And then I also believe that your roster kind of got better on the offensive side of the ball. So I do think the offense will be improved. How say you?
I do too. I like Rose started that BYU Holy War game, and I thought he played all right in his only start. So another year with the offensive coordinator, so some continuity, both coming over from the Utes, Hood coming over from Colorado. They did a nice job getting some high major guys, and I think this offensive line is going to be able to hold up with guys like Franks and Weidman.
Yeah. I think that's the big question is how well the O-line can hold up. But look, folks, we're going to talk about the defense in a second here. But before I do that, I want to let you know that the college football experience is brought to you by Circa Millions and Circa Survivor. Think you know ball? Then you have to enter the Circa football contest with $21 million in guaranteed prizes. There's no rake. So if entries go above the guarantee, all extra money will go into that prize pool. Circa Millions, you pick 5 teams against the spread each week, NFL, or go for the ultimate sweat in Circa Survivor. There is even the Circa Grandissimo with $100 million Survivor contest going on there. You must enter in person at Circa Sportsbook, Nevada, Las Vegas. It's a great reason to go out to Vegas, have a great time. Biggest sportsbook in the world. They got Stadium Swim. It's fantastic. Get on out there. Sign up in Nevada. Play from anywhere, though, with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Yeah, go to footballcontest.com and use the promo code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. We're also brought to you by mybookie.ag. Yes, MyBookie is your place to bet on every single sport, including right now, I guess, MLB, CFL, WNBA, golf, of course, but if, you got college football and NFL futures going on. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of different locations, even outside of the States as well. Easy deposit, lightning fast payouts using crypto. Head on over to mybookie.ag. But when you do use our promo code TCESGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply, of course. That's mybookie.ag. Promo code TCESGPN. All right, we are back. Shout out to the chat. Talking about Maction on a early July Wednesday.
Yeah.
So perfect time to talk Maction. The defense, Mac. So
not a lot back.
Yeah, they got their nose guard back. All right, Tim Grant Randall. He's the one returning starter. Now, I forgot to include the slide, but I have it here, so I'm looking at it. Jared Kite is the defense coordinator, and they were all over the place last year. 124th in scoring defense, 12th best in the nation in pass defense, 118th in rush defense, charting at number 70 defense. I mean, shit, for a 2-win team, that's not that bad. You would think they would have won a few more games, but you saw the overtime stuff, losing, to Miami, Ohio, and Liberty, 2 very good teams last year in overtime. Tough breaks, but can they be better than that? Well, they went to the portal and brought in how do I say that? Shymel Davis from Maine. I wonder if he had some ties to old coach. Timothy Passamore from UConn. Malachi Madison from the Hokies of Virginia Tech. Joshua Nobles from Jackson State. Nick Hawthorne from Boise State. And then a slew of Rutgers guys in Unha and Timmy Hinspeter. Dean Schaefer from Yale. Ramondo Johnson from West Virginia. They're grabbing a couple W guys, buddy. Mm-hmm. The secondary. Malcolm Green is a guy I remember because he was at Clemson and UVA. Getting him, I think he's penciled in to be their starting corner. TJ McGee from Davidson. Raheem Sexel from the airport. FIU. Concord University's Kendall Bournes coming in. D.D. Snyder was a very good player at Ball State within the MAC. So he's back in the MAC. And Keegan Andrews from A&M. I mean, I kind of like, considering they only brought one guy back, but it was a respectable defense considering they only had 2 wins. A little concerned about the linebacking core, but I can tell you I like what they did in the secondary. Like Snyder and Green are starters day one. I kind of think the secondary will. I kind of think the defense will be all right. Like I said, the schedule is much. You're not facing now. You're still getting 2 Power 5s, but it's just not the gauntlet it was a year ago, or 2 years ago, or 3 years ago.
Well, and I think it's a defensive head coach, Harasymiak. I mean, he came from Rutgers, Giano, tough, hard-nosed, physical brand of football. I would imagine that's going to be the identity of UMass. And Kite, his defensive coordinator was also at Rutgers as the cornerbacks coach. So, like, they have continuity with one another. I think this defense will be fine just because
They'll be super aggressive too. I
Yeah,
can tell
they'll
you
play
that.
hard.
They
They'll play
blitz. I forget the name. They had a name for his defense at Maine. It's like the blitzing black bears or some shit like that. There was a name for his style, almost like Blitzberg or something. But yeah, I mean, I kind of think they'll improve. I don't think that's a knock on Don Brown. I think the schedule's a lot easier, and then the fact that the team's talent level did go up, and that's a credit to this coaching staff and administration. So, I'm on board. So, state of the program we talk about. Where the program's at, where it's headed. And we talk about the stadium and the fan base and everything that goes in there. I didn't realize, like I said, listen to that pod, them spending the second most amount of money. That has me, I was kind of blown away by that stat. So now let's talk about the McGurk Stadium, which I enjoy, 60 years old. I do think it gets a bad rap. I saw someone do some video on it last year. I'm giving this a 7 out of 10, Mac. They could make a little bit of an update to it, but I think it's still a cool stadium. Like, they can make it look a little bit better. But that's not fake, by the way. I had to stare at that for a long time, and I was like, that's that green. But look, to me, they could do the press box a little cooler, but it's still it's college football, man, right? I mean, look, not a terrible stadium. It's outdoors the way it's supposed to be. Nice. What do you give this thing 1 to 10, man?
I was going to give it a 6. I think they need to upgrade it a little bit. I think it's a little small. I think that the McGurk, now that they're in the MAC, a little bit of some upgrades. It seats 21,000. So I'd like to see a couple more seats in there. But yeah, I mean, we're building UMass, man.
Yeah, new press box, man. That press box.
Yeah,
they make it look a little classic, but it's almost there. It's still good. It's still solid. It gets a bad rap. I think got some fan. Come on, get out there. I hope the fans show up this year, man.
They need some more in that end zone over there.
Yeah, they do. All right. But yeah, all right, the McGurk. Let's go. So look, program on the rise. Now, I was conflicted here. I actually think this is one of the hardest programs on the rise because they are. If that is true, the nugget that I heard that they're spending the second most in the MAC. Well, then shit, I think it should be like a 7 at a. But then I'm like, wait, but this is a team that has had the best season they've had is a 3-9 season over the past like 5-6 years, right? So I have to keep it humbled and say 4 of 10 right now, but I see the potential. I think it's going to get better, but right now I have to give it a 4 of 10. How about you?
Give me a 5, right in the middle. It seems like there's some momentum from the spending now, but we need to see the results on the field. New hire, I think they got it right. So I'll go right down the middle of the 5.
Robert Martin saying, state of the program, they've never made a bowl game since joining the FBS. That's going to change since they're in the MAC. I'll tell you that. And I know they were in the MAC before, but that was in their first couple of years. All right. Shout out to All right, giving us $25. He says they shouldn't be as much of a talent deficit schedule-wise in the MAC. Appreciate you, man. Let's go. Let's jump into that. Week 1. Wow. Okay, the Temple Owls are coming to town.
Huge game.
I mean, dude, this is how you know we're college football nerds. Me and Mac had like a 5-minute conversation on how this is like a must-watch game week 1. I'm fascinated by it. This should be they should play more often. Philly, Amherst, it's Northeast. Look, I could totally see UMass winning this game, but I'm gonna give it to Temple. I think this is a field goal game, though. I don't think it's no blowout. Do we have a line on this game?
Yes. UMass is laying 1.5. This is going to be a line that flips back and forth, I bet. I bet you Temple's -1.5, then UMass -1.5. It'll shop around. Give me the Minutemen. Give me the Minutemen at home. Start off the new era at home. They get it done. They beat Temple on a field goal. I'm with you. Let's go.
I mean, it would not surprise me at all. Not surprise me at all if UMass starts off 1-0. That series, they got to play that game more often. Next up, the Bryant Bulldogs are coming into Amherst. You're telling me they could be 2-0 to start the season?
Oh, yeah. Mojo.
I mean, Bryant almost knocked off an FBS, 2 years ago, FIU in overtime. They got robbed on a fucking they had the game won. And it was a fourth and 12 for FIU. They throw the ball over the middle, and Bryant knocks a great hit, makes the ball incomplete, and they throw a late ass targeting call, which FIU ended up winning the game. Oh man. But watch out, because these Bulldogs can bite. But I'm taking UMass to get a win. 1-1. What are you doing here?
2-0, baby. 2-0 to start the Harasymiak era, baby. Vibes are high.
Yeah. I'm telling you that they will be. Then they go to Iowa City.
31-0.
First ever matchup. Yeah. I mean, how many first downs will they get in this game?
6.
Yeah. I bet you I can drink more beers while watching the game than they can get first downs. All right. 1-2 for me, 2-1 for you.
Yeah.
Then they get a bye week. Look at Marcel Ship.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, Marcel Ship right there. Look, I missed the shoulder pads looking like that, man. We got to get the game back to that. Then the SEC, UMass is still in the SEC.
Credit to Mizzou. They at least went to UMass last
That's
year.
true.
Yeah.
That is true.
They earned this home game.
Yeah. I agree. This will be a 1-3 start for me. 2-2, I'm assuming, for you.
Yep, 2-2.
Then Western Michigan comes to town. Series goes back to 2012. All right, I gotta take Western. I think Lance Taylor's in year 3. I think they're due. Walt Bell is the OC, the former UMass head coach. Kind of a revenge game for him.
Yeah.
It still wouldn't shock me if UMass got this though. Like, I think this is gonna be a game, but I think Western's. Yeah, I think Western's just a little bit better. But yeah, I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm saying Western. I'm saying 1-4 out the gates.
I think I'm going to go with Western as well. I'm with you. I like Western this year. Give me 2-3 after the 2-0 start. But hey, here we go. Get this next one.
This next one, they go to Kent, Ohio to take on the Golden Flashes, and they will get this one, in my opinion. I think they'll get this one. I feel pretty confident in this one here. So give me a second win for the Minutemen. You're at 3?
3-3, man. It's a good year right now for UMass.
And then a rivalry game as Pete Lambo and the Buffalo Bulls come into town in a series that goes all the way back to the 60s. I got to take Buffalo.
Yeah, if they had a bye week, I would be so tempted to take him. But I think Buffalo, from a roster standpoint, too much for UMass here.
So that puts us, well, we're going to have a bye week in a second. But then they go to the Chips. Fire up Chips.
We just did this episode.
Yes, we just did the Central Michigan episode. Go listen to it. And I would say the problem would be we took Central Michigan here. But I thought this was a coin flip game. I gave Central Michigan the game because it's in Mount Pleasant. It would not shock me. They're on the same page to me right now. This is a very winnable game. I kind of think UMass's roster is better, but it's a road trip. But I got to stick to my guns. We just did the episode. I'm not going to change my mind from 20 minutes ago or an hour ago, whatever it was. You are?
No. I'm gonna stick with the Chips. I think the Chips still. It's a toss up, but the Chips need this game from the scheduling standpoint that we just did. So yeah, I'll stick with the Chips. So I got them 3-5.
and I'm 2-6. But good news on the horizon. I mean, wait, they
get the bye now.
They had a bye week. I skipped the bye there. My apologies. But they come out of the bye week and they're at Akron, and I will call for an upset here. They're gonna get somebody that I'm not seeing here. So give me a third win with the Akron Zips here.
I think they're going to finish strong. Yeah, I got him. I got him winning at Akron off the bye week, and I think that their roster is better than Akron's.
Yeah, me too. I think it's neck and neck, but I just feel like they're gonna get one of these ones. It's a Tuesday night game, by the way. Maction in effect. The very next week, I put the bye here. I fucked this up. The very next week, they are hosting Northern Illinois in that one of their final MAC games. Yeah, I kind of think, dude, they could win this one too. I think
this is their MAC debut, Maction debut in terms of like a weeknight home game.
Ooh,
I got them winning this, man. They're going to beat Northern Illinois. I got them 5-5, 2 in a row. Let's go.
I think they're. I'm going to hang on to this, but just I think they're live though. I think they're live here. Then why is this not working? Then we have them with a trip to Peden Stadium. They're going to lose this game.
Yeah,
I feel pretty confident they're going to lose this game.
5-6.
Yeah, 5-6. Then Bowling Green comes to town, which I think is a winnable game, dude. I think, and shout out to Ross Blacker in the chat, Harasymiak there. Look at me. I can do this.
Harasymiak. That's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
Harasymiak. Yeah. That's a tough name. It's just a tough name, but the guy knows football. All right. And I apologize to him if he's listening. Bowling Green, though. Look, I'm going to say between Northern Illinois and Bowling Green, they're going to win one of these games. I'm going to say it. Where are you at with this game?
I think they win 3 out of 4 in the month of November. Harasymiak. Bowling, UMass 6-6. They beat Bowling Green. They finished strong. Year 1. Lock it up, the over.
Woo! There is a hot take. UMass football.
Well, I don't get a brain man. Cold.
The win total, folks, is 4.5. 3.5 or 4.5.
The 3.5 is way juice. So yeah, it probably is 4.5.
Well, if it's 4.5 for me, I had them Bryant, Kent State, Akron. I have them on the under, man. But I think there's a path. If that Temple game happens, they can go to a bowl if they beat Temple.
Yep.
That Temple game out the gate is huge on August 30th.
The winner probably goes to a bowl, both sides.
Yeah. I'll stick to my guns on the SGP show. I said under. I think they're 4-8, but I think that'll be their best record the past 6-7 years. And you build on that. And then next year, maybe you lock in a bowl game. Or you got maybe this year, maybe that Temple game. That could be it. They're plus 5,500 to win the MAC. I wouldn't sprinkle that, but it seems you might be, right? No, 6-6 doesn't win you the MAC. Sometimes though, right? Didn't one year, I think, one year it did, I think.
Yeah, it could get you to the MAC title game.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe it's worth the sprinkle then. I don't know. But I'm excited. I think I think for a UMass, like if you're a UMass football fan, I can understand basketball fans being pissed. Because you've been in the A-10 forever since you had fucking Dr. J, right? But for football, all you want is be able, like a foundation to be able to build on. You know what I mean? To be in a conference and then start winning the conference. And then if you can consistently do that, look at Northern Illinois. They're leaving for the Mountain West. Or, you know, maybe you're happy in the MAC and you're just the elite team in the MAC, that you and Toledo, because you spend the most. So I think it's a fun time to be a UMass football fan. What's the ceiling on the schedule, Mac?
6-6. I gave the ceiling out.
So you're Lionel Richie dancing on the ceiling here.
He's a Chicago guy. They always overachieve, baby. Let's go.
Let me ask you this: what's the floor?
Probably 2.
2. I think you're right.
Bryant and then
Kent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd kind of be surprised. Maybe 3-9. I don't know. Maybe 2-10.
Yeah. Yeah. Somewhere in the middle there. It's gonna be fun to watch. I'm excited. I haven't been this excited for UMass football in a minute. So
that week game's gonna be fucking. They need to move that to Friday night. Come on, there's still time to move it.
Yeah. Well, I think they want all those fans there for Harasymiak's Harasymiak's first game. You know, get the whole alums there. Everyone excited about it. Dude, they think about that. If they start 2-0 going into Iowa City, what if Iowa's offense is sputtering and they're just up 6-0 in the fourth? One play and you're 3-0. Didn't South Dakota State lose to Iowa at Iowa in the past like 24 months, like 6-3?
Yeah.
So there's that.
Rutgers and Iowa always play close games.
There you go. Folks, that's our show. We will be back. We just dropped the Central Michigan one. We're breaking down all 136 teams. Tomorrow we are scheduled to do Arkansas. We're jumping down to the Sun Belt. We put these in a randomizer. If you're wondering how we got these teams this season as opposed to the other years. Next, we go to Arkansas State, Jonesboro, Arkansas, and then to Texas State, the newest team in the Pac-12 rebirth. So we'll see you tomorrow. All right, let's go. Give Moneyline Mac a follow on Twitter at Moneyline_Mac. I'm on Twitter at TheColbyD. The College Basketball Experience is on Twitter at TCE on SGPN. And check out all the other stuff. College Basketball Experience, College Baseball Experience, YouTube.com/The College Experience. All right. Hit that like and subscribe. It helps us. All right. Help me help you. Let's go. All right. Enough of me gibber. Look, I got a great slideshow here for these UMass fans to honor the history. I remember when they won that natty. All right. So let's close out with this. All right.
Let's go Minutemen.
Yes. We have UMass football slideshow to honor the great history of UMass football. This is the College Football Experience, Minutemen style. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Off, so I can't be found. I'm on a worldwide tour, touring every fucking curtain down. They say the Lord watches over my sins, over my head, watching hair as it thins. Over the ledge, it ain't letting me in. There's still regiments and relevance to letting me win. Win, lose or draw. You ain't prepared unless you all ready to lose it all. Losing a brawl? Yeah, that's a ride a day. Good friends know my Nina Hideaway. They came and went, but the riders stay. So it's like I won the lottery and can't be found. Until I resurface with the latest purchase. 33 and a third and 45 circles. You ain't got that shit. And I ain't 45 king. But on the beats, I've been doing my thing. I start the program and the doorbell ring. I gotta leave town to a place I can't be found. My celly's off, so I can't be found. I'm on a worldwide tour, touring every fucking curtain down. American dreams, lessons, and still they work. I guess the sand on the beach still was really dirt. Now I'm going home, flying over Rome at 30,000 feet. Like, damn, is that really Earth? I see the killers work on walls, familiar turf. Got a little school in graph, 101 was first. Got a little school in math, didn't really work. But put the numbers on the block and I make them hurt. Any block is my stomping ground where my people lay low so they can't be found. They don't wanna be, ain't from the crew, but I'm honorary. Liquid, solar sad, psycho harmony. Type of armory that's more than a shield. Type of armory's DeLorean steel. Type of warrior's ill. So true to my sound, but dig deep so it can't be found. My celly's off so I can't be found. I'm on a worldwide tour, touring every fucking curtain down.
It's the revenge of our stealth, the intelligence plane. Armor, a manifestation of karma. The far left, low keys, let it be. Listen, whispering words of wisdom. Ghost dog breathe in the shadow.